Visit. The Visit is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and it stars Olivia. I wrote these down, okay? So don't. I had to because it's Olivia DeJohnette, I think, or DeJohn as Becca, and we have Ed Oxenbould as Tyler, Dina Dunnigan as Nana, and Peter McRobbie as Pop Pop, and lastly we have Catherine Hahn as the mother character. Now this has produced collaboration with M. Night Shyamalan and Jason Blum of the Paranormal Activity films. Why they paired together, I'm not too sure. It seems like an unlikely pairing to me, but it worked for this film because it really had both their strong suits in this movie. And God knows, M. Night, man, Shyamalan has been needing something to come along for a while. The story of The Visit has two siblings, Becca and Tyler, who have never spent any time with their grandparents, with their mother's parents. Their parents are divorced, and their mother's played by Catherine Hahn, and there's some unspoken fight that had happened between the mom character and the grandparents that we are kind of investigating along with Becca and Tyler, because this movie is a found footage film. A lot of people out there know what found footage film is, but if you don't, it's a movie that basically the actors or the characters carry the camera themselves and they are taking the shots as we go along, so we're experiencing it along with the characters. A lot of times it's one of these things where the footage was found, so that's why they call it found footage, and then other times it doesn't work. There's a lot of movies, a string of these found footage films, it doesn't work because there's not really any real reason for it to be presented that way. And then there's other films that try to do it where you have found footage, where you have the handheld by the characters, but then you also have actual shots that are of them holding the camera. And then you also have found footage films that's got score and editing and everything in it, and it doesn't work because of the realism of what a found footage film would really be. And this takes us all the way back to the Blair Witch Project, which is still, I think, one of the best campaigns for marketing a film, and the best found footage film that I've seen. Still to this day. So back to The Visit. M. Night Shyamalan tried to come back to his roots here. I can tell this was a very low budget film. It was a very small film. And what I mean is it's very intimate. There's not a lot of sets. It actually takes place mostly just on this farm in the winter. There's a lot of snow. It looks beautiful, and that's one thing I'm going to give, props to the character of Becca, who's holding the camera most of the time, because she's as good as a director as M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan really knows where to put the camera. After seeing this film, I watched Signs again. Signs is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film that he's done. Of course, a lot of people really loved The Sixth Sense, and that's really where he started. He started off with horror, and then he got into, creepy eeriness with The Signs. And then after that, we don't want to even talk about what he did. M. Night Shyamalan had a string of films that were just utterly horrible at the box office and just in rentals and in films in general. There's bad movies. I still hold him up as being fantastic because I look back at Signs and I just watch that opening and watch the way that he sets the camera, the shots that he chooses to take, the way he presents the action, and the way he presents comedy is very subtle, and drama is very thick, and he's an excellent filmmaker. So it's a struggle to watch some of these failures and think, what's going wrong? But I will tell you, The Visit, okay, I digress. The Visit is actually a good time. I walked out of this feeling okay about it, and I started to think about it a little bit. What am I going to rate it? And I was like, take it or leave it. But as I thought about it more, it was actually a pretty good film. It wasn't a great film, but it was it served its purpose. It did exactly what it needed to do for what it was. This was a union between M. Night Shyamalan and Jason Blum, so you had the paranormal activity aspect and that feeling. And if you're not familiar with those, if you're living under a rock, paranormal activity movies are all found footage films, usually dealing with ghosts, and they're kind of got sequel after sequel after sequel. And you might hate them, but hey, Hollywood is about selling, and those movies sell. M. Night Shyamalan, his name, still to this day sells, even though people are just not seeing him do anything great. But this was a very subtle comeback to the roots. This, for him, it really was. I wouldn't really classify this as a horror movie. It's trying, the marketing in it is trying to be a horror movie. It's really more of a creep fest. It is very, very creepy. So the kids, they go to their grandparents' farm home, and something's wrong with their grandparents. Something's wrong with the old people. And scary old people, to me, are right up there with scary, creepy children. Because, well, they're kind of the same in a lot of ways, just, wrinkly. I might be digging myself a hole there. But anyway, in this film, the grandparents, right off the bat, there's something wrong with them. This character of Tyler, played by Ed Oxenbould, was so good. This kid, you need to watch out for this kid. He was hilarious. He had little aspects of a young Michael J. Fox to me towards the beginning. Something that he did reminded me of him. But he plays the character of Tyler, who's the younger brother of Becca, and he's a rapper. He has this rapper alias, and he has these few times where just out of nowhere, where it wouldn't make sense to do it at all, he busts into this rap and flow, and he's really, really good at it, and it's very funny, and he does it for the grandparents, and they even enjoy it, and he's so good at what he does, and he actually has this little shtick in it that he carries on through the film, which is very clever and funny, and he says that every time, instead of cursing, he's going to say a pop star's name, like Miley Cyrus or Lady Gaga or something like that. So whenever something goes down, you can just, and he cusses, you hear a pop star's name. And every time it happens, even though it's happening in these action scenes and these scary, creepy scenes, it's funny and it's enjoyable. So that, I wouldn't say, again, this wasn't that much of a horror film. It was a creepy film. There's a scene where the grandmother is having like a hide and go seek underneath the house with the two kids, and there's all these passages and everything, and she's crawling under there after them in a creepy way. And yeah, that would be creepy if it wasn't during the day. It was bright outside, behind all the characters, no matter where they were underneath this house, you can see it's daylight. And it's all snow outside, so it's bright, reflecting off of the snow. That took away from the creepiness of it a little bit in that scene. It should have been at night. For whatever reason they would go under there. I don't know. The grandparents tell them, don't come out of your room after 9:30. And that's because after 9:30, Grandma goes a little nuts. And to a child, a elderly person going through something like dementia can be scary. And I like how they touch on that just a little bit, but this ain't dementia. The character of Becca, the older sister, she's the one making the documentary. She's taking this opportunity to make a documentary of where her mother grew up and try to get what she calls the elixir. Try to get from her grandmother some kind of I forgive you or something to bring back to the mother. She's trying to heal this relationship, but she has no idea what really went down. The mother won't tell them. The mother's actually gone with her new boyfriend on a cruise, and they're trying to communicate with the mother every day via Skype. But the grandmother actually uses oven cleaner to clean the camera on the computer. The mother won't be able to see them. The grandmother of Nana, this woman, Deanna Dunnigan, she looks like someone I might have seen when she was much younger. I'll have to look into her IMDb. But she was creepy as all get out. She was, she did the role good. She was really good. Not to take away from Pop-Pop. Pop-Pop was creepy too. Peter McRobbie. Yeah, he creeped me out too. And hey, Becca, this girl, while she's taking the documentary, like I said, she knows where to set the camera because M. Night Shyamalan's directing, but she's got these shots in it and that are just like she has her brother stand next to a childhood swing set and he wants to get on it and she says, no, 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 just let it swing organically. And he just stands there and you just hear the swinging swing in the shot. And that's beautiful. Brings you right into knowing the Becca character. So this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed, this film. I am surprised how much I enjoyed it. I didn't know I was enjoying it as much as I did until I started thinking about it later. And M. Night, I'm not going to say you're back, but I'm not going to say M. Night Shyamalan is back, but I will say that he's on to something much better and much more up his alley. This was a good pairing with him and Jason Blum. I'm not a big Paranormal Activity fan. I'm going to have to watch the film again. There was one or two scenes where I thought you could see there's two cameras shooting this. The brother has one and the sister. And there might have been a shot where you can see the two cameras in the shot. So there's a third party somewhere shooting the actual film. And I'm not sure if that was in there or not, so I can't really take it down for that. There's no music in this movie, but what the Becca character puts to her film, her documentary. And so it is very well done and executed. And I'm going to say that M. Night Shyamalan with this film, The Visit, along with Jason Blum, The Visit, it's a B. It may even be a B+. I thought a C, but it's becoming more, I'm liking it more and more, and as I think about it, I don't want to go see the film again, but I could own this movie. This is worth multiple watches, I will say, multiple trials. So anyway, guys, this has been the slow season for film. It's right at the end of the summer and fall's getting ready to start, so there are not as many movies out, so you hadn't seen from me in a little while. I'm glad to be back, glad to be doing this, glad to, go see another film. I didn't really, the ones coming out, I thought about doing American Ultra, We Are Your Friends, the Zac Efron DJ film. They didn't seem like movies that everybody was really wanting to know about, so, hey, I'm paying for these movies out of pocket. Not to be complaining, I love doing this. And Straight Outta Compton was such a great film to end on in the summer that I was just going to wait for the fall movies to come in. So I'm looking forward to Everest. I'm looking forward to some other things coming out, but I just went to see The Visit to see what M. Night was going to do, and good job, man. So guys, if you like this, there's more videos. Hit subscribe, like some things, don't like some things. Give me some messages. Let's get a dialogue going and talking. I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know what you thought about The Visit. Are you going to go see it? Have you seen it? Do you not care at all? Should I just shut up? Let me know. And as always, guys, these are just my opinions. They're not set in stone because what do I know?